We talk a lot about staying active as we get older, and that's absolutely crucial. But what about the fuel we're putting in the tank? After 70, the food you eat, it's not just about energy anymore. It's one of the most powerful tools you have for a vibrant, healthy life. So today, let's dive into the science of how to use it. So let's get right to it. What is the best fuel for your body's engine after it's clocked 70 plus years? Is it all about plants, or is meat the real answer? Well, as you're about to see, the science points to something a little more nuanced, and honestly, a lot more interesting. You see, after 70, it's like our body's rulebook for food gets a complete rewrite. I like to think of it like a classic car with a ton of miles on it. It's an amazing machine for sure, but it now needs a different kind of maintenance, a more specialized fuel, just to keep running smoothly. Now, the number one challenge we're up against is a condition called sarcopenia. It sounds complicated, but it's just the natural age-related loss of muscle. And this isn't just about feeling a bit weaker. Nope, it directly hits your balance and mobility, which, as you can imagine, dramatically increases the risk of falls. And at the same time, our bone density is decreasing, and our digestive system just isn't as efficient as it used to be. So, all of that brings us right to the big debate: plants versus meat. When it comes to getting enough protein after 70, the stakes are pretty high. Let's try to cut through all the noise and just look at the evidence to find a clear verdict, shall we? Okay, so you've got two main camps, right? On one side, you have the powerful case for a plant-based diet, which gets a ton of praise for managing chronic conditions. And on the other side, you have animal protein, which has always been seen as the powerhouse for building and holding onto muscle. Let's break down the real strengths of each. A plant-based diet? This is where it really shines for long-term health. Because it's generally lower in saturated fats, it's a huge ally for your heart and your blood pressure. And the high fiber content? That's not just about staying regular. It's a total game changer for your gut health, which can be a real concern for seniors. Plus, all those antioxidants you get from plants are just fantastic for taming the systemic inflammation that makes things like arthritis so much worse. Okay, now let's flip to animal protein. Its biggest advantage is something called bioavailability. It's a fancy word, but it just means your body can absorb and use its protein way more efficiently to rebuild muscle and fight off that sarcopenia we talked about. And this is so important. It's also our only natural source of vitamin B12. If you don't get enough B12, your brain health can really suffer, leading to serious issues like fatigue and poor balance. This data right here tells such a fascinating story. When you look at protein for preventing falls, hey, you've got great options on both sides. But then you look at omega-3s for brain health, and you see that fatty fish is just a clear powerhouse. And for gut health, well, plant-based fiber is the undisputed champ. The takeaway here is pretty obvious. Neither approach is perfect all on its own. And that leads us right to what most experts agree on. See, most geriatric nutritionists don't recommend a strict all-or-nothing diet. Instead, they really lean towards a middle ground, something like a flexitarian or Mediterranean diet that combines the best of both worlds. The ideal plate might be, say, 75% plant-based, but supplemented with a little high-quality animal protein. Now, that flexitarian approach is a fantastic goal, but I know many people are truly committed vegetarians. For them, the strategy often involves leaning heavily on dairy to fill in the gaps that meat leaves behind. So that begs a really important question. Are vegetables and milk really enough to give you complete nutrition after 70? Look, milk is a powerhouse, there's no doubt about it. It delivers huge amounts of high-quality protein, calcium, and that critical B12. But look at what's missing. The amount of iron is minuscule and there is absolutely zero fiber. So if you're relying on milk alone, you're creating some pretty significant nutritional gaps. So how do you fix this? How do you build that complete vegetarian plate? Well, it is all about strategic pairing. You can bridge that iron gap with things like spinach and lentils. You add that crucial fiber with oats and papaya. And for those healthy fats that keep your brain sharp, walnuts and flax seeds are perfect. See, this isn't just about eating your vegetables. It's about building a complete nutritional system. And here's a fantastic little tip. Think about swapping some of that milk for curd or dahi. The fermentation process actually makes it much easier for a senior digestive system to handle. Plus, the probiotics in it help you absorb more of the nutrients from all the other healthy foods you're eating. It's a win-win. Okay, so we've talked about the building blocks: protein, vitamins, minerals. But what if we think about food on a deeper level? Let's explore a more holistic approach.
The Sattvic diet is an ancient concept that views food as nourishment for both the mind and the body, focusing on ingredients that are pure, light, and promote mental clarity.
A Sattvic meal structure is designed to follow your body's natural rhythm. You start the day gently to awaken your system. You have your main, biggest meal at midday when your digestion is strongest. Then you have a light snack to prevent that afternoon slump, and you end with a soothing, easy-to-digest meal that prepares your body for a really restful sleep.
What's really cool is that this framework also highlights specific superfoods, where this ancient wisdom lines up perfectly with modern science. Flaxseed gives you those omega-3s essential for a sharp mind. Sesame seeds are packed with bioavailable calcium for joint health. Jaggery offers a natural, unrefined source of iron for energy. And moringa, people call it the miracle tree, is a potent immunity booster that's actually backed by research.
Okay, now let's get even more practical. What if we could use all this knowledge to use food as a kind of targeted medicine, to go after specific symptoms of aging? Let's take a real-world example. What if you or someone you love is experiencing something like leg shivering or tremors? Now, this is something that always warrants a doctor's visit, but nutrition can play an incredibly powerful supporting role. Oftentimes, shivering can be a sign that your nerves are a little irritable, let's say, and that's often due to a lack of key nutrients. So think of it this way. Magnesium's job is to calm and relax your muscles. Potassium helps regulate the signals your nerves are sending. And vitamin B12, that acts like insulation, protecting the nerves and preventing them from short-circuiting. So how do we turn that knowledge into a remedy? Well, a simple nerve-calming evening drink can be incredibly effective. You just combine warm milk with ashwagandha, that's an Ayurvedic herb known for strengthening the nervous system, and a little pinch of nutmeg, which is a mild natural sedative. It can really help calm the body down for a restful sleep. And the best part is, you can be proactive about this. This little cheat sheet connects common symptoms directly to food solutions. So if you're dealing with muscle spasms, you focus on magnesium from pumpkin seeds. For leg shivering, you up your potassium with bananas. This really empowers you to use your kitchen as your first line of defense. And finally, I have to say this, and it is very important. While diet is an incredibly powerful tool, it is not, and I repeat, not a substitute for professional medical care. If shivering is a new thing, if it's persistent, or if it comes with other symptoms like a loss of balance, a consultation with a neurologist is absolutely essential to rule out other conditions. Wow, we've covered a lot of ground today, haven't we? From the big picture debate on protein all the way down to targeted nutritional remedies. And it really all leads to one final empowering question. Armed with everything you know now, how will you make your next meal your best medicine?